So you're passionate about solving a social problem. You believe you've got a solution, you can make a difference. You're an entrepreneurial person, resourceful and resilient. You're actually going to make this happen. You are interested in becoming a social entrepreneur. Well, this session is about you. It's about people like you and the ways and means for you to succeed. It's an overview of what's out there that will help you, or what might put barriers in the way which you'll have to jump. And most of all, it's how you can prepare and understand yourself for what will be the journey of a lifetime. Now, hoping I haven't scared you off already, what's my experience that makes it worth your while listening? I'm Cliff Pryor from the UK. My first social venture was at the age of 19. Frankly, it was rubbish, but I learned a lot from why that failed. And when I was really passionate about something that came up later, it was that early experience which helped me succeed. And even more so for the one after that, helping people with HIV, AIDS have a better life, even if then, back in the 80s, it was only a short life. Getting our first block of disability-adapted home help supported apartments in just a few months, 100 within a year. So since then, I've led major social sector organisations. I've co-founded many more ventures of all kinds. I've run Unlimited, the UK Foundation for Social Entrepreneurs, supporting 1,000 startups each year. Founded GSEN as a global shared learning network for similar support organisations around the world. And now, most recently, leading Big Society Capital, which is the UK's wholesale social investor and market champion. So who or what is a social entrepreneur? Here's some examples of what people say. Someone who uses entrepreneurial methods to achieve social or environmental benefits. Someone who can make their world better. The definitions vary, as you'll see, and the differences are important. Some agencies, particularly in the USA, focus on innovation, transformative impact. Others, including the UK, take a broader view, including community-level activity. Many focus on the enterprise side, using business to deliver social good. And many also touch on personal character and style as defining elements. Social entrepreneurs come from every background, but most commonly from the combination of disadvantage and strong talent. The statistics in the UK show a third come from the 20% most deprived areas, only 10% from the richest 20% of areas. Migrants, both first and second generation, are much more likely to become social entrepreneurs. And we think that's because most social entrepreneurs are motivated by a problem that's hit them or someone close to them. That's where their passion comes from. But they're also more likely to have attained good education results, having the talent to succeed through adversity. Social entrepreneurship is becoming a major global movement. You'll see it in the slums, in the universities, in the major corporates, in the rural villages. In the UK, 20% of people creating new enterprises want their new venture to have a social impact. And that's around 120,000 people every year in a country of 65 million. The OECD and European Union policy study on social entrepreneurship shows between 0.5% to 5% of the adult population as social entrepreneurs across a range of countries. So what makes for a vibrant social entrepreneur sector in a country? The Global Entrepreneurship Monitor has a framework to consider entrepreneurial activity in each country, and we can adapt that for social entrepreneurship. So here's some thoughts. Do people consider starting a social venture to be a desirable career choice? Do those who are successful at starting a new social venture enjoy a high level of status and respect in society? And does media attention to social entrepreneurship contribute or actually hinder the development of a helpful culture in each country? There are then some strong correlations to individuals' perspectives on their personal perception of opportunities, perception of their own capabilities to act, and fear of failure. Our research from Unlimited shows that personal life experience is often a strong motivating factor. And looking internationally, there are big differences on permissions to act for social benefits, some countries encouraging, some forbidding, and on the sense of who should act. Are social problems the responsibility of government, or of business, or of citizens like you? Often people assume that a social entrepreneur is someone who creates a social enterprise. Now, in turn, that's often defined as trading for social purpose, reinvesting the majority of profits into social benefit as well. But actually, social entrepreneurs use a much greater diversity of models, from people movements and campaigns to businesses to non-profits and, yes, social enterprises as well. In the UK, the Living Wage campaign has brought huge value to the poorest paid. In Afghanistan, the Roshan initiative combines a company, a social enterprise, and a non-profit foundation to make it possible for rural villagers to do legitimate business. There are steelworks in Spain. There are pharmaceutical companies in the US, medical diagnostics in the UK, agricultural supply chain innovations in China, rural craft value chains in Indonesia, marine ecology conservation in Madagascar, shadow banking by mobile phone for the unbanked in Africa, all started by social entrepreneurs. Social entrepreneurs have created social TV channels, taxis for people with disabilities, the Homeless World Cup soccer competition, the world's very best online education app for young children. And there's even a social enterprise supplier to the European Space Agency. Diversity, but context matters. What's seen as social in one country may not be seen that way in others. So, for example, a country with a very high unemployment rate may prioritize job creation and see that as a social enterprise. But countries with a high employment level would they'll just see that as normal business. China faces challenges with large numbers of migrant workers moving from rural areas to cities at great distance from their families. That creates some challenges for social entrepreneurs. India faces challenges of poor quality teaching in state schools. Indonesia, its rural populations across thousands of remote islands. A smartphone app which works in a 4G environment is unlikely to work in rural sub-Saharan Africa. Context matters. Context also reflects legal and regulatory situations. Some countries actively support social entrepreneurship, others forbid it. Many are still working on relevant regulation and permissions. Of course, some countries may have apparently published regulatory systems, but with political pressures or bribery and corruption problems. Some are war zones. What works in one place may not work in another. Social entrepreneurship is highly contextual. And these terms, social entrepreneurship, social enterprise, social investment, impact investment, these terms are highly contested. Is it about non-profit, internal profit, profit distributing? Should people profit from doing good, or is that wrong? Innovate or simply deliver? Is it about social mission organizations achieving social benefits? Or any kind of organization that achieves the desired social impact? Is it about millions of small ventures or a few big heroic ones? Well, actually, of course, it's all of that. It's not just a legal form. It's not just a government regulation. It's a movement of people, entrepreneurial in character, driven by solving a social problem. And as such, as a movement of people, it's messy, it's diverse, it's unpredictable, and frankly, fabulous. There are some common patterns, though, and most social ventures go through a series of stages. Awareness, an inspirational idea, testing it in the market, committing full-time, starting to build a team, and then expanding, multiple sites, multiple programs. At each stage, learning from experience, iterating, or, in the jargon, pivoting the model. Now, these stages are often linked to resourcing. Seed funds, often grants, angel investment, venture capital. But actually, most social entrepreneurs do not secure external investment. They start with their own resources or friends and family, maybe with some philanthropic grants and pro bono advice if they're lucky. And then they grow organically through their own resourcing. Indeed, most social entrepreneurs do not create massive ventures. Most remain small, highly connected to their home turf. All of it is good. The stages in the journey are also about building the right team. Finding really great talent for an early stage venture is often a big challenge, and taking on the wrong person can be a major, major headache. Building a successful venture is not just about a business plan and money. It's about building a team, measuring your impact, listening to customers, building reputation. Indeed, business plans can get in the way. One day's engagement with customers is worth a month working on a business plan in your office. Yes, you'll need to know your numbers. You'll need to understand your theory of change. What's your unique selling point? You'll need to understand drivers of revenue and cost, all of that. But understand it from real experience. Go lean design, testing small scale for real and building as you know more. Another common pattern that we see is the challenge of balancing what it takes to survive and what it takes to achieve the impact that you're trying to get? Should you address, for example, the very poorest? Or should you go one step up in the market, because then you can raise the price and become sustainable, as with the D-Light example on the slide here? Should you specialize because that's your core skill, but then you leave behind all the other kinds of problems that face the people that you're trying to help? Should you build your full market chain from origin right the way through to retail sales? Or should you join in an established value chain, even if it's a commercial one? Should you come in with radical disruptive innovation, or just improve on what's already in place? There aren't any magic answers to these questions. It's your call to decide what you can achieve and how. Okay, so it's tough, but who's there to help? Each country has a social venture ecosystem. It might be highly developed or very basic. It might be helpful, it might be hostile, but it's there anyway. The key elements are usually social entrepreneur support, social enterprise support for the organizations, social investment availability, and then broader economic, social, and regulatory systems. So starting with social entrepreneur support, it comes in many flavors. Startup support through seed funds, advice, networks, vocational learning, incubator hubs, MOOCs. Later stage for growth through accelerator schemes, fellowships. Social enterprise support is expanding. More and more countries have umbrella agencies for advice and advocacy for social enterprises. And social investment is also growing rapidly. Now, in developed countries, social investment is likely to be in-country agencies, individual angel investors as well as institutional investors. But in a developing world, it's likely to be more external, international development agencies, which might be government, foundation, or investment house-based. Crowdfunding is the new kid on the block for social investment, a rapidly growing approach, engaging large numbers of people, individually investing small amounts, collectively achieving a lot. Social impact reporting is another growing part of the ecosystem. Organizations with a social mission need to account for their social, sometimes also their environmental impact, as well as their financial numbers. This is often called double or triple bottom line reporting. It can be particularly important for social investors who often demand detailed performance indicators. And for social buyers, although they might prefer a more human narrative storytelling approach. There's a growing number of agencies which help social ventures to identify their social impact and how to evidence it. And there's some global standards emerging. For example, the IRIS reporting system from the Global Impact Investing Network. Social entrepreneurs can't do it all alone. They need permissions to operate, a supportive regulatory environment. They need access to markets, the supply of talented people to make up their team, support to start up and grow, the finance for investment, as we've discussed. Most of all, they need a culture that accepts the idea of mixing enterprise and social good, a culture which sees social entrepreneurship as a good, respected choice. So that's some of the background. But what about you? What will be demanded of you as a social entrepreneur? Well, no one said it would be easy. You'll know that soon enough, if not already. You need resourcefulness and resilience, determination to achieve, and flexibility to find the right path. It takes all of you, every part of you, your head for business savvy, your heart for passion, hands to get stuck in, eyes to see the opportunities, voice to inspire people, ears to hear the feedback from your customers, feet firmly on the ground of the people you're helping, and most of all, guts to never, ever give up. It's a total human endeavor. But don't try to be a superhero. Share that burden. If you can't afford to hire staff yet, then look to friends, to other social entrepreneurs, shoulders to cry on, advisors to learn from, champions to tell you to get back on your feet in the bad times. So my message to you, get started, get learning, get all the help, advice, support and challenge you can find. Take every tip and trick in this online course and beyond. Don't be afraid if you fail first time. As they say, storms make trees grow deeper roots. Every step forward and every step back is a training course for you. Do not give up. Get yourself networked, get agile, get a real understanding about your motivation and your skills. Know where your energy comes from because you'll need it. Get building your reputation. Be your own harshest critic and your most constant supporter. Believe in your true strength. Do not be afraid of what you can achieve. Make this choice to be social entrepreneurs. Join this fabulous journey of fully human leadership, because you're the people who will be in charge of the future. Good luck and thank you.